Hey everybody, I'm Joe Collins with the New Black Republican, and we're sitting here with the owner of Hey Batter Batter, and she's brought some food in, and we're gonna see what it's all about.
And we are Hey Batter Batter. Our niche, however, with our waffles is you do not need any syrup, so it's just that good. All the love and goodness is in the batter. And then we have our fried chicken, and I think people really just eat the waffles because they want the chicken.
So how'd you come up with the concept of waffles with no syrup?
It started, I want to say maybe 17 years ago. I'm a waffle lover, but I found that when I would consume the waffle, put the syrup, I could never get my syrup pour right. So it was either too much, so now my waffle is extremely soggy, or it was not enough, so it's extremely dry. And I was a mom, had a little boy, and when his cousins and so forth would come over, I said, what can I make these kids that's gonna be filling, not gonna hurt my pockets? And that's where it started, but I found too, when I would consume the syrup, I'm sleepy afterwards, and I have a house full of kids. So I didn't want to be too irresponsible, so I said, what if I can create a batter where you do not need syrup? And that's where it began, and I just started creating. And over the course of years, I just thought everybody loved waffles like I did. I didn't know it was my waffles that they were really after.
Okay.
But that's where it started. The actual business model is, so we are a batter company. So it started with just wanting to make waffles. That's all I wanted to do was make waffles. I actually was never a fan of the chicken and waffle craze. I never got it. I was one of those conditioned people where I couldn't see how you can eat chicken and waffles together. So I never had it until I made it for the first time a couple of years ago. But when I decided to start a business, I hosted a brunch, and oftentimes I did. And this particular brunch, because I was in a different space, I had gone on a transformational journey, so I just saw things differently. My vision was a little clearer. And so I hosted this brunch, and the feedback that I always got positive feedback, but for some reason at this brunch, I said, you know what? I'm gonna start a waffle bar. So my idea was, because everybody has brunches. So you can hire me, I'll show up and prepare your waffles. I'll run out the Belgian waffle machines, and if you don't want me there, and you can purchase my batter. So that's where I wanted to start. And so when it was time to come up with a name, I don't know if you're a genius in the shower like I'm a genius in the shower, but I was in the shower. And the concept was, well, I can't just have this original flavor. I have to have other flavors, right? Because nobody's just going to want original. So I said, how would I incorporate new flavors? And I said, because it's not that it's my waffles, because you can go anywhere and get waffles, but it's what I put in a batter that makes it what it is. And it was like, Hey Batter Batter. And that's how the name was born. So the concept was being able to create these different flavored waffles. And when it was time to do farmer's market, I was just gonna sell waffles. And one of my closest friends was like, you can't just sell waffles. And I said, yes, I can. You can't just sell waffles, you have to have chicken. And I was like, but why? Why do I have to have chicken? And so I was kind of, influenced to have chicken. And so one of the cool things about Hey Batter Batter is because the concept was the different things that I can do with batter. So believe it or not, our fried chicken is actually fried in our dry batter.
Okay.
So again, hence the name Hey Batter Batter. So when I saw how, and that was my first public event, this farmer's market. So when I saw how chicken and waffles went, it was like, I guess I better do chicken and waffles. So I just got on board with that, and actually since then I've created all these other creations. We have a waffle dog, and we have an array of items, believe it or not, all things waffles.
So how do you feel about Miss Butterworth being taken off the premier syrup? Because I know that's like a big thing right now.
It is a big thing. It's interesting because people are so conditioned, I think, with eating food. So there's just a conditioning and an association that when you eat waffles, you're supposed to have syrup with it. So it's no sweat off my back, However, I did like the syrup because it's a good flavor, but it doesn't, I guess it didn't really have a bearing on or effect to me.
Well, a real important thing to me is, do you make Belgian waffles?
I do.
Okay.
I
That's
do.
all I need to know.
Yeah. I absolutely do.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So what advice do you have for young African Americans who want to start a business but they don't have the what it takes to build it, whether it's drive or ambition or even financial literacy or even the know-how to start a business?
I would just say, just do it. Like I said, in the beginning for me, I had no sense of business, and I'm still, like I said, figuring it out. I had no sense of business. So for me, I've become discouraged at times, especially in the beginning, just trying to read all of this information on how to start, right? And it's not something you can just go on the web and site, on the internet and say, how do I start a business? Because it's like, well, what kind of business are you trying to start? So the advice that I have is just to do it. The only way you're gonna know if it's gonna work is if you try it. So, and being open to the process. Like I said, I argued with my friend about having chicken at a farmer's market because I wanted to stay in this box of only doing waffles. However, because I value and trust his opinion, I said, well, what is it gonna hurt me to do it? And so I realized that it's not necessarily about me and what I want, but it's about servicing the people. Mm-hmm. So I find that in business, how you get to connect with people is, if you're passionate, about what you're actually offering, and then knowing your purpose. I learned that I am one who is to be of service. And so that's what helps me, my passion for serving and the fact that I get to be creative. That's another thing too that has also helped me in this process. And like I said, just, learning social media, that's something, because I was one of those kind of like, well, I don't understand, what's a story, it's like, I accidentally learned how to share a story on accident. But, just, knowing the different resources that are necessary to kind of grow your business. And so I learned social media was one of those things. And then a friend made a suggestion, well, how about you record people when they try your food? And that's almost like a walking testimony, right? So I don't have to go telling people, my food is good, you should try it. Well, when they see the video, it piques interest. Like, they're really having that kind of reaction to, it can't be that good. So then they may, well, let me follow them and see what they're really talking about, or they may finally come check us out. So I would just have to say, know your purpose for why you're doing what you're doing. What is your why? In terms of why do you want to start a business? What is it about being in business? What is it about entrepreneurship that, you want to be a part of? And so for me, like I said, my purpose is being able to serve, but also my son. It's important to me. And then just being able to be in a position to give back to the community too. Again, opportunity to be of service. And so what better way, to, again, they say, how you can win people over is with food. And so so I just found that to be my niche. So I say find your niche in something that you're good at, and it will not feel like you're working. It will not feel like, or when the challenges come along, you can take them as that's what it is, and you'll get up and dust yourself back off and go at it again. So that's what I would have to say. Not that I want to plug Nike, but those 3 little words, whoever that genius was, they probably came up with that in the shower too. But whoever that was, just do it. That's my best advice. Just do it.
So one thing that you mentioned earlier was about franchising. With Los Angeles County rebuilding very, very quickly, the introduction of the stadium, the newfound success for the Lakers, have you ever reached out or thought about reaching out, or have they reached out to you in order to be able to sell your products in their facilities?
Not yet. And yes, I have thought about it, but have they reached out to me? Not yet. They're coming. I know they are. But yes, and I don't have a problem reaching out either, but no. But yes, I have thought about that. And,
so where can people find your website so they can see all things waffles?
So we are at heybatterbattereat.com. That's heybatterbattereat.com.
Do you have a storefront also, or people have to get a hold of you online in order to be able to request your services?
So we're online and social media, and we just got a food truck. So
nice.
Yes, so hasn't even been 3 months yet. But
nice, that's good.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Yes.
You don't need syrup.